Hey, 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 welcome to Bundle Live. I'm so excited to have my first guest of this bundle, Audience Building Made Easy. She is Christina Rava. Come to the stage.
Hey, Nicole. Thanks for having me.
Hey. I'm so happy you're here and that we get to talk about course creation, which a lot of people are super excited about.
Yeah.
But before we get talking about that, I really want to know a little bit about you because, this is our first time meeting. So I'm
Mhm.
kind of like, let's hear more about, obviously, I've kind of seen a lot of you during the bundle because you're so prominent in the bundle this year. But I want to see more and know more about you. Can you tell us a little bit more about you?
Yeah, sure. So I've had like a weird little entrepreneurial journey. I actually started out as a health coach and a meditation teacher, um, which I liked. But what was happening was that, first of all, I found that when I was doing like the back end of my business stuff, I really liked it. Like I liked the design and the tech and that kind of thing. So I started like offering those services,
Hmm.
and that was going really well. But I was doing a lot of one-to-one offers. So I was doing a lot of the one-to-one services, one-to-one coaching, that kind of thing. And I was really getting maxed out. I was getting very stressed and burned out, which is ironic for someone who was a meditation teacher.
No, we get it. We get it.
Yeah.
One-on-one services, we get it. It can be stressful. Yeah.
Yeah. So then that's when I started hearing about like digital products, online courses, how you can basically like stop trading time for money, scale your business, which is great because I pick up my kids from school every day. I want, if they're homesick or if they're home on a break, like I want to be able to spend time with them. And so I felt like digital products and courses were a great solution because that way I could still be earning even if I wasn't necessarily like showing up live that day for my business.
Right. Right. And so, what kind of happened? Like, you were a health coach, you're really doing that one-on-one services. Have you completely kind of done away with the one-on-one services and gone to digital products, or you're in that process? What do you think?
No, for the most part, like the majority of my revenue comes from courses
Mhm.
and group coaching,
Oh,
which
okay.
is another business model that I love. And I do
Yeah.
some affiliate marketing. I
Yeah.
don't do too much one to one, sometimes like by request. And
Right.
that's because, there's a lot of value and benefits in one
Absolutely.
to one, and especially with the cash flow, right?
Yeah.
But also because I enjoy it. Like I do enjoy like working closely with people one to one. It's just not the predominant form of like revenue for my business anymore.
Gotcha, got you. Now, one of the things, if you're in the bundle, you have some great links to Christina's amazing products. She has both well, tell us a little bit about what you have inside of the bundle.
So there is a lead magnet template. So it's a Canva template that you can customize. You can completely change the look of it with like your own colors and fonts and branding and that kind of thing. But the formatting is done for you, which is like a huge time saver. And the
For real.
reason that I submitted it because the bundle is themed around audience building, right? And I
Mhm.
think that that's really, really important, regardless of what kind of business you have. But especially if you're doing a one to many offer, like a course or a digital product, where you really need to build up your audience in your email list. And that
Right.
starts with having a lead magnet. So that's one of the things that I have in the bundle. And then the other thing is an online course planner bundle. So that includes two planners, one to help you plan out what the content of your course would be. So, like your curriculum, what are the modules and the lessons that you're going to have in your course? And then the second one is a planner for your launch so that you know what to do step by step, week by week to market and sell it.
Absolutely. Now, you guys remember, if you're in the bundle, you have access to both of those. I just sent out an email. So you also have an email with links directly to both of those products, which are amazing. But I want to go into a little bit of a kind of the first steps of creating your course because I know that a lot of people they're on that wavelength of I want to create a course. I want to do that. And the big thing that we talked about before here was picking a topic. It's so much you could do, so many courses you can create. How many, but how do we narrow down? How do we pick that topic to actually create the course about? I love your insight in that.
Yeah, there's a few things to consider with the topic. Like, first, obviously, something that you're an expert in. But another thing that I think people like don't think about is it has to be something you love talking about, like something that you're really passionate about, because you have to create all the content for the course. But even after that, you have to be like marketing and selling it. So people have to see like you really care about this topic. You're an authority, you know it inside and out. So that's like one starting point. Another thing is I recommend that people kind of narrow down their course topic and not pick something too broad. So for example, like if you're a yoga instructor, I wouldn't make your course about yoga, because first of all, that's totally overwhelming for you. There's a lot you could potentially say about yoga,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then also for your audience, they may not know, is that good for me? Like, is this beginner yoga? Is it advanced
Mhm.
yoga? Is it like, the hot yoga? Is it one with props? Like, there's just so many different angles you can take with that. So when you're creating a course, I recommend doing it based on a result that the course helps people achieve. So, for example, if someone has injuries, you can say, this is yoga for people with injuries to help them gain back their mobility and their flexibility. So, you can see like how that would be much more appealing to the target audience than just saying, I have a course about yoga. So, I would say make it specific for a target audience and talk about the topic should talk about the result or the benefit that people will get from the course.
Absolutely. Well, here, let me go into this a little bit more because I know from listening to my audience that they automatically go to the big art overarching idea, and
Mhm.
I get that. Can you dive a little bit more into how to identify that smaller idea, pull that smaller thing out? Because, again,
Mhm.
the yoga teacher goes, well, they need to know all of it in order to get my result, right?
Mhm.
How
Mhm.
do I, as a yoga teacher, how do I go from yoga to, stretching properly? Maybe
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't do yoga. Maybe one day I will. But, how do you kind of get down into it, you think?
Yeah, I think the one of the best ways to answer that question is to look back at your past experience. And actually, a lot of times, if you like really listen to your clients, they're telling you what it should be about.
Mm,
So you can like make notes of like, the top, 10, 20 people that you've worked with recently. Um, what questions were they asking you? Is there a common theme? Is there like some thread of like, oh, they're all struggling with this one thing, or this question keeps coming up again and again, or I keep explaining the same thing over and over. Like look for those commonalities in terms of like what your audience is like asking and struggling with, and also like how are they responding to content that you post online, whether you have a blog or YouTube channel or on Instagram. Like what topics are really like resonating with people, where people are loving it, like they're asking for that free resource you offer, or they're really responding to like certain types of posts, because choosing a course topic also comes down to demand,
yeah.
like obviously your audience is going to be more interested in some things than others. So like look for those clues that they've been planting along the way to help you pick a topic. And then the last thing I would say is like, remember that in order to get a result, it's really important to do things in chronological order, right? So I use the example of like baking a cake or assembling a piece of furniture, right? There's a lot of steps, right? And if people do things out of order, it would be a mess. So I think like it's important, like when you choose a course topic and like people want a certain result, the topic should kind of like help them get started, like, so that they know what to do in what order to get the result that they want. So Nicole, you had mentioned stretching. Like, I think that's like, that could be like a good topic, if somebody ultimately wants to improve flexibility and like flexibility and mobility. You might want to create a course on, like just how to like beginner basic stretching,
Mhm.
so it really depends on like the result that they want, and like what do they need to do to get started with that thing.
Now, I know for sure someone is thinking the following. I get it. Okay, I want to create this course. Okay, it needs to be very specific, talking about a result. Blah 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 blah. But then it's kind of like, what do I give away for free
Mhm.
versus what to put in a course? That always, I know, stumps my audience. I know maybe stumps yours as
Yeah.
well. Like, what's the free? Because you did say that, if they love getting this thing for free, then, possibly that's a topic to put in a digital course. How do I distinguish what to give away for free? Because sometimes I definitely give away the the good stuff. And I'm like, dang, that was in the that was in that. Maybe I shouldn't have talked that.
Yeah.
But how do I distinguish the two and kind of say
Mhm.
this will be in the course and I'll stop talking about this free thing?
Yeah. There's two ways. One is I like to think of like your free things as like an appetizer and your course is the entree, right? So, I mentioned I used to be a health coach and I used to help people with weight loss. So sometimes like my free content would focus on how to like clean out your pantry, like get rid of the unhealthy things in your pantry, right? That's just one teeny tiny step among like all the different things that people have to do to lose weight. So
Yeah.
I'm like, my freebie is like that baby step. Like, what is the first thing they need to do to get started? But then after they've done that, people are like, okay, what's next? And like that's when the course comes in. So that's one way to think about it. Like your freebie could just be like this little micro like action that they can take. And
Mhm.
then the course is like how to complete the journey. The other way that you could look at it is your free content should kind of like tell people what to do, but not necessarily how. So it could
Mm.
give them like a framework, it could give them a bird's eye view of like, okay, in order to lose weight, you need to, let's say, like cut like reduce sugar, you need to heal your gut, like certain things, but you're
Yeah.
not going into like the nitty-gritty of like, okay, exactly how do you
Yeah.
do that?
Yeah, yeah, that totally makes sense. And it just re-emphasizes things that, people have taught us, in the past, or at least taught me in the past, the what versus the how, and
Mhm.
doing that. Sometimes, I don't know, when you start thinking about, I'm trying to remember the guy's name that just gave the kitchen sink for free. And then everyone kind of switched to that, I'm going to give the kitchen sink for
Oh,
free
yeah,
mentality. You know what I'm talking about? I
yeah.
can't think
Was
of
it
his name.
Alex Hormozy?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Once he did it, now everyone's like, "Let me just give the kitchen sink for free." It kinda, it changed the game in that thought
Yeah.
process that, "Oh,
Mhm.
maybe I should be giving the kitchen sink for free." But you're
Uh-huh.
telling me, Christina, you're giving me permission to not give the kitchen sink for free if that's
Yeah.
not your model, your content model, your business model, your course
No, it's
model.
not. Yeah, I
You
think
can
it's
hold some stuff back.
totally. I mean, and your free stuff could still be valuable. It's
Yes,
just only
absolutely.
one piece of the puzzle, you
Right.
know?
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to talk a little bit about, because you talk about creating courses and you talked about picking a topic for us right here, which I appreciate. You also talk about Kajabi a little bit and how Kajabi has kind of made that process easy. Now, I've worked with Kajabi a little bit with some of my clients. I'd
Mhm.
love for you to talk a little bit about Kajabi, what it is, because that name may be very unfamiliar to some people and
Mhm.
they may be like, "Oh yeah, I've heard of it, but
Mhm.
I've never really dived into
Mhm.
it." So I'd love for you
Yeah,
to talk a little bit about Kajabi, your experience with it, and what it can help you with course creation.
sure. So when you create a course, you're gonna have content, right? You're gonna have videos, you might have like worksheets or workbooks to give people. You might want to give them like some PDF guides. You might have written content, you might have a private podcast feed. So to give the members of the course all of that content, like you want it to be organized, right?
Right,
And you want it
right,
to be like in a secure place because they just paid for it. So you don't want just anybody to be able to access it, right?
right,
So that's where a course hosting platform comes in. It's basically what a course hosting platform is. It's like a place online where you can like save all of the content for the course and have it be password protected. So that way when somebody enrolls in the course, they're given the password and then they can access it and go through it in a very like, clean, organized way. So there are a number of different course hosting platforms out there. Like for example, you might heard of Teachable, like that's a popular one, and Kajabi and Podia. There's a few, but there's something that sets Kajabi apart from other course hosting platforms. And that is, it also has tools for marketing and selling the course. So it's
Mm,
not just about delivering the course, it's also about marketing it. So for example, if you want to have a webinar, like a free training to launch the course, or if you want to do a challenge for your audience, right? And then you want to maybe send them some emails about it, and you want to have a sales page, right? You need a tech platform, a software that can help you do all of those things. And Kajabi has those tools that you can use for marketing and selling the course. And also in the beginning of this conversation, we were talking about the importance of having an audience and an email list. Kajabi also has the capability of like doing email marketing, so where you give people a freebie and then they join your list, and then you might send them like a welcome email series. You can do that with Kajabi. You can also host your website on it. And another thing that's like growing in popularity, I think, is having a community alongside your course so that people can interact with one another, get access to you, just kind of get like more support and feedback. And Kajabi has a communities feature so that you can give people both the course and the community. So there are so many different things you can do with it. And it's nice that you can do it all under one roof through Kajabi, as opposed to having to learn and pay for multiple platforms for all of those things I mentioned, and then
yeah.
have to figure out, okay, like how does this all work together? It's a lot.
Okay, wait. So, well, first off, you said the thing that I was like, wait, hold on. Kajabi has communities now. Like, what do you when you say communities? What you talking about?
So it's basically like an alternative to a Facebook group. So there is like people have this like, it's a central area where there's a discussion, right? And you can have different like topics, like discussion threads going on. You
Mhm.
can also do live events directly within the community. So I was able to get rid of Zoom,
Right,
because when I do we do a weekly call with my program, and like I can do it, I can just go live in my community,
right.
and like people can like tag one another. You can have like a leaderboard, like let's say
Mhm.
if you want to do like a little challenge or something like
Yeah.
that. So yeah,
You see
so
my face, I'm like, "What? I don't remember hearing about that." Things change, right?
yeah,
Things change, and that's definitely one when I was, working with a client, that definitely wasn't there, but now you're like, "What? There's a community?" So
yeah,
it can replace the Facebook group, it can replace, if you're thinking like Circle or Mighty Networks,
exactly, yeah.
it can replace that and really start the community part of, that's actually really good. I'm like, "Wait, hold on."
Yeah, and then people just have one login. I think it's a
Yes.
little confusing when somebody enrolls and you're like, "Okay, go here for this and go over here for this other thing." Like, they're like,
Mhm.
"Where is it?" Like, whereas when you have one login and they can see boom, 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 like all the things they get with your
Yeah.
offer, I think it just makes it easier for your students of your course.
Does Kajabi have an app yet?
Yes. So basically, if people go, it's not branded to you, like your individual business owners, like it's a
Right.
Kajabi app. But when people sign up for it, they can see all of the courses that they have enrolled in, all of the Kajabi courses that they've enrolled in, so that they can access it on the go. And the communities feature actually has its own app, so that people can interact with the community um, on the go, like by mobile also.
Gotcha. I mean, I'm like, "Whoa." Like,
Times have
that
changed,
that's
right?
a difference. Yeah, now I'm like, that's why I'm like, "Okay, I'm learning something new about Kajabi and what it could do." But yeah, I wanted to make sure that everybody, heard the name Kajabi, that it is an option because a lot of people, think about what it can do. Email marketing, it becomes your website. So, you're getting rid of the WordPress, you're getting or the hosting platform
Yep.
because Kajabi does it. Email marketing, you're getting rid of any of those email marketing because
Mhm.
Kajabi does it.
Mhm.
Course platform, Kajabi does it.
Mhm.
Community platform, Kajabi does it. That's
Yeah.
actually really, really good, especially for somebody who is kind of starting out trying to really build this ecosystem of
Yeah.
courses and maybe mentorship and community.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it
Yeah.
sounds really awesome.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that we had a little bit of time to talk about where we can find you online. I
Mhm.
know that anybody who's in the bundle, you have the opportunity to get the two resources that Christina has inside of the bundle. So make sure you get that. I just sent an email before this, so about 10:05 a.m. Eastern time on March the 7th. You have that. You have until tomorrow, March 8th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time to grab all of those resources in the bundle for free.
Mhm.
Including Christina's
Mhm.
resources. Obviously, they go back to not being free after this, but but you get the opportunity to get those if you go to fempreneuronline.com/bundle BUNDLE. But Christina, tell us a little bit about where we can find you online, and how you're going to be helping people inside of your community
Mhm.
once they get these products.
Mhm. Yeah, so I'm actually not a big social media user.
Me
I
neither.
do email marketing for my business
Yeah.
mostly. So the best place to find me online is Christina Rava RAVA.com, and there you can see a bunch of different things. So I currently have at the top of my website for a limited time a free 45-day trial to Kajabi, which is amazing. Like normally the free trial on the Kajabi website is 15 days. So this is like triple
Mm,
the free trial time. And then I have a bunch of templates because I'm like really big into like saving time. So I
yeah.
have both Kajabi templates and Canva templates on there. And then I also have a program. It's a group coaching program that leads people like A to Z through the process of like just like thinking about a course to actually getting it created and launched and making sales in 90 days. It's called the Coach to Course Creator Accelerator. So you can find information about all of those things on my website.
Awesome. You know what? Thank you so much for doing this, for teaching me more about Kajabi and what it can do, but letting everybody else know that. And also that generous offer for 45 days
Mhm.
free trial, especially, if you're kind of swimming around, not sure where you're going to land. Let's
Mhm.
try Kajabi out. Let's
Mhm.
see what it can do. Christina has the templates to help you get into Kajabi and kind
Yep.
of get through the things. I know she has some bonuses attached.
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, all the good things she has right there on her website. You can get it by getting onto her list,
Yep.
into her world, into
Mhm.
community by getting one of those resources or both the resources
Yeah.
inside the bundle. Yeah,
Mhm.
hey,
Yep. It's
we
the
don't
easiest
discriminate.
thing.
But thank you so much for being here, everybody,
Thank you for having me.
for watching Bundle Live. We have another one later on today, and I can't wait to see you then. Until then, bye.
Thanks, Nicole. Bye.